Welcome, guys, to the Wealth Rebel Show. I am your very rebellious host, Emma Wright, and today I am joined by the super exciting energy that is Ashley Leeds, a guest who, oh God, even in my intro, I was like, has so much energy. He can light up any room, and I just think you can see that by his beautiful smile. I've had the pleasure of connecting with Ashley through my work with Biz Fest SW, and we've just been chatting offline about some of the amazing energies that we know from our past lives, which is just kind of does not surprise me. I was a speaker. I am a speaker at Biz Fest Southwest, which is why I was invited to come onto your show, Ashley, last week. Which, it just when we were chatting on the show, it just brought so much energy to life, and we just realised we needed to get kind of deeper on this through our own connections. And it just felt like an absolute no-brainer to bring you onto the Wealth Rebel show to inspire you guys out there as much as you inspired me, Ashley, in our little conversations. And quite frankly, that's what this show is all about. It's here to really inspire you to step fully out of your comfort zone. Guys, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to get visible. You have to use your voice. You have to use all the beautiful things that we can create to get the message out there to be wealthy. Wealth is not about physical assets necessarily. It's about a vibration. It's about energy. And to do that, you really have to be seen. So before we dive into this conversation, Ashley, I just want people to not forget to like, subscribe, follow the show. You know, people like Ashley come onto the show to give value, to share their magic, and we want to create that wealthy ripple. So it goes without saying, please like, subscribe the show. And if you want to be a real life wealth rebel, then you're not going to want to miss the conversation that we are having today. So, Ashley, we met literally a week ago on your show, and it made such 100% sense for you to come on, given what that you do now. And I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. I want you to share your story, Ashley, about where you've gone to where you came from. But you are known as on your LinkedIn profile as the 15-minute guy. I want to know what the 15-minute. I love that. I want to know what that means, because you really give people the courage to kind of take that step forward. And you even called me out before we came on air. You called me out on what I'm doing with my show, and you would show me in 5 minutes how I can maybe go back into putting my show back onto podcasting. We often feel super overwhelmed, and overwhelm is one of the things that stops us from doing these things. So yeah, what is the 15-minute guy? You're an author, a public speaker, a coach, and a podcaster in your own right. So firstly, a very warm welcome to the show, my love.
Wow, that is the longest introduction I've ever had. And I think great to be on your show, and thank you for having me. But I think how we connected was Wealth Rebel, and so many people talk about wealth being the Porsche on the drive, the trophy wife, the big mansion, the kids at a private school, and blah 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 blah. And it's not that. For me, wealth is living by the sea. Wealth is having the flexibility to take a bit of time off and go and spend time with my family. I am so blessed. Both of my daughters live in the same street as me. Okay, so if I walk up the road if I walk up the road in 6 minutes, I can see both of my daughters. Isn't that magic? That makes me wealthy.
Oh my gosh, that is magic. And also, Ashley, before we go from what you just said about that was the longest intro ever, I'm embracing who I am, and I can't say things in one sentence. Literally, there's nothing quick about what I do. I can't just go, okay, this is Ashley. I'm fully in my new world, embracing my weirdness, which is giving someone like the biggest intro ever, because I have to share things that come into my world. But what you've just said completely and utterly hits the nail on the head. I'm moving in with my mum shortly because I'm going through life changes, and I really believe that wealth is not all the things that we are told it is. It is about having family and connection, but being able to do what you came here to do and to put into the world all the magical things that we're that we need to be doing, but we often don't allow ourselves the space or the time and energy to do it. So tell me a little bit about kind of how you got into doing what you do, because it wasn't always the case that you did what you do today. You kind of had a really interesting pathway into what we, the same world that I'm kind of effectively in, right?
If I was at school and turned around to myself, because when I was 16 or 15 or that sort of age, I loved Radio One. I had a cassette player and I used to record the charts on a Sunday, and I wanted to be a Radio One DJ. And back in the olden days when it was all black and white and we didn't have computers, I went to my careers teacher and said, I want to be a Radio One DJ. And it was like, get real. Now, if a kid went to a careers teacher today and said, I want to be a Radio One DJ, they would point them in the right direction. They'd have connections. They use social media. They would have an opportunity to be a Radio One DJ. Yeah, that was not available to me back then, and we didn't have the wherewithal to think, oh, I'm going to go and make that happen, because I lived in Cornwall. I lived in a village in the middle of nowhere, and we didn't have very good public transport. We didn't have computers and stuff like that. But I lived by the seaside, so I ended up being a chef because everybody's got to eat, right? And so I went into being a chef. I went up to London and worked in some swanky places in London, worked in France, and then I came down to Sidmouth, which is where I live today. And I worked in this amazing hotel, and I walked into the hotel, and there was a beautiful lady there, or kid she was, because I was a kid as well with teenagers. And we both worked in the kitchen, and she's now my wife. And so we've been together all that time. We've had two amazing children. And when we wanted to start a family, Debs wanted to be a stay-at-home mum. And so as a chef, there is no way you can earn enough money and work sensible hours to look after a family. So I went into sales. And so I've had 30 jobs in my career, sold absolutely everything. And 17, 18 years ago, I ended up selling software to accountants and bookkeepers. And I have been in the accountant and bookkeepers world space for the last 18 years. So I know lots of people, lots of influencers and people like that within the space. I know how accountants run their practices, and 6 years ago I ended up coaching them, and that was the first job that I've ever had that made me think, oh my goodness, this is what I want to do when I leave school. Coaching just opened up so many different things for me, and to be able to teach and share knowledge and help people, to see people go from, oh, I can't do this, to, oh my goodness, I'm getting this and doing that, was life-changing, not just for my clients, but for me. And so when I decided that I didn't want to work with my boss anymore, I thought, right, I said, I'm going to go and get myself another job. And my wife turned around to me, she said, Ashley, you should be running your own business. You should be coaching people. Go and do it. And it doesn't matter if we don't make any money for the first few years. Just go and help people and shine, because I'm fed up of seeing you miserable and stressed out working for other people. And so that's what I did. And within a few weeks, I soon realized that what I wanted to do, I couldn't do because I signed an anti-compete clause. And I then ended up going, what am I going to do now? And that's when I found LinkedIn, or LinkedIn found me. I don't know whether you want to call it serendipity or whatever. But as soon as I found LinkedIn and started helping people with LinkedIn, my whole world has changed. There's my book on the wall. There is no way that I would ever have written a book if I hadn't have gone on this journey. I wouldn't be a public speaker. I wouldn't be being asked to be on amazing podcast shows. So yeah, LinkedIn has changed my life, and it's all because my wife believed in me.
I love that. What a beautiful story. And I really believe what stands out for me in what you've just said, Ashley, is you've been on this journey, and nothing happens to us that isn't meant to happen. I'm on a very spiritual journey. I talk openly about the fact that in 2024 I had an awakening that literally spanked me on every side of every part of me and went, get into alignment. Because like you, I found coaching in around 2020, 2019, and I was like, that changed me, because it got me to see things from a different perspective, right? But then I only in the last year, I would say, has it become really apparent to the way I want to help people. And just like you, I just love the fact that you you've sold, like, I love the fact that you said, you could sell everything. You were selling 30 different jobs. You could sell everything. Sales is just a skill that I believe that we master. I've been in sales my whole life as well. And I think when we embrace the fact that we can just sell, that makes things a lot easier to kind of be and run your own business. But then to take that courage because someone believes in you. I think you said this on your show. Do you realize that we're no longer employable when you start
I,
business, right? Because
I'm always saying that. I would
yeah,
never.
it's just so true. And the fact that you've been in the bookkeeping world, just that synchronicity of the connections, because you and I know obviously Joe Wood and Zoe and Catherine Morgan, and how our worlds are so intertwined, and we didn't even know it
No,
in the
no, how
conversation
bizarre.
last week. And it's such a beautiful thing because it makes you realize and it opens things up. And then you go down that path of right, well, what's next? And then you realize, boom, this non-compete could at the time could be really restrictive, but actually it got you to do something that lit you up even more, which you probably wouldn't have even when you were a chef or on the journey that you've been on might have been like a that seems weird. How could I even help people? Tell me a little bit more about that part of your life when you kind of fell into LinkedIn and realized the magic that LinkedIn can create for people. Because I am constantly telling people LinkedIn is a beautiful platform to be on, and I really believe it.
I've just come back from a networking meeting, and I was talking to a couple of people that work for undertakers, right? And and I turned around because you don't see undertakers on LinkedIn, do you? Right? And I've just dropped a video today on YouTube about your business should be on LinkedIn. All right, and you turn around to me, no, 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 my business wouldn't work on LinkedIn. So I turned around to these undertakers and I said, look, 100% of people on LinkedIn are going to die. So everybody needs an undertaker, right? And I think we're not looking at it in the right way. And the thing that I love about LinkedIn is if you think of it as a networking event, Emma, you go to a networking event, you meet people, you have a nice time, you get to find your tribe, you get to find the people that you don't like, you get to find the people that you do like, you get to find people that like you. And then when you go back to that networking event, you congregate with those. But you go to other networking events and meet other different people. And you have conversations about anything, not just business. Okay. And so if you think of LinkedIn as a networking event, you don't have to get up early. You don't have to put your makeup on. You don't have to find somewhere to park and treat LinkedIn like that. Have those conversations. It just opens up a whole world of possibilities. I have made some amazing friends just by being on LinkedIn.
Yeah, 100%. Same. I've made a friend that literally lives down the road from me on LinkedIn. And that's just like, it's just people find that really weird. And like, I just don't because I just see every opportunity in business as an opportunity to make a friend first.
Yeah, yeah,
Because that's
yeah.
where everything comes from, relationships. People will never come to your undertaking firm. That's so funny. Everyone has to die.
They
Why would
do.
I
They
be on
do.
LinkedIn? People view LinkedIn because back in the day, LinkedIn was about CVs.
Yes.
You added yourself on LinkedIn to maybe get a job in the future. And it was like, oh, someone's on LinkedIn. Are they not happy in their job? What are they doing? And it was like you have this thing where I'm open to opportunities. LinkedIn has completely transformed. And I completely agree with you. I am so fussy about the face-to-face events that I will show up to because my time is so precious. Because, like you, I moved to this West Country. I left London 10 years ago to put my feet in the sand.
Yeah.
And like most of us, got caught up into the all the automatic social conditioning of working harder than ever. And it's been a really hard thing for me to unshackle from, all the things that I learned with Catherine along the way. But fundamentally, I came here to be by the sea and the ocean and to live a different life. And as the wealth rebel, that's what I'm trying to show people. You have to do it, takes practice. But LinkedIn has always been this support thing for me, and I want to like nurture it even more. Like I feel like I'm not making the most of it, even though I treat it. I'm on there every day,
Well done.
organically, just looking out, commenting, giving my love to people's posts, like seeing something, and then someone said to me, and the algorithms are not going to like that, Emma, if you share that and you've shared a video. And I'm like, really, I don't really give a fuck, because I want to share Ashley's post because I want people to in my network to see it. And it's the energy there for me. I don't care about algorithms. Someone added me to a LinkedIn support group, and there was like so many people in there, and I got in trouble because I'd not commented within 5 minutes on every single post, and I took myself out of it because it's
That's not
not
that's
my
not that's
energy.
not that's not support group. That's a pod, and I think that's my video tomorrow, and that is breaking the terms and conditions of LinkedIn.
Ah, well,
So
I left it.
get out of those pods right now.
Yeah,
And you're so right.
hated
It's
it.
not the energy. It's not the energy. And all you do is you end up in this little vacuum echo chamber.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, because I felt really weird, like going in and being really ungrateful and going out, because I was getting personal messages from this pod owner telling me off for not, literally for not commenting. And I'm like, I'm a mummy. My kids come first.
I have a life.
And I have a life, yeah. And actually, I believe in the organic face of LinkedIn, because, like, I will go on LinkedIn, not all the time, and I'll look and I'll go, oh, Ashley shared something. And I always think about who am I caring about in that moment? Or Jamie's, like, shared something, or Catherine's doing something, or Joe. I'm constantly sharing Joe and Zoe's stuff just because I just love their energy, and I'll share it, or I'll comment, and or I'll love it, whatever I'm feeling at the time. I don't really follow any rules as such. I just do what I feel like doing. I'd love to know, as we're going deeper in this, what is it? What does it take to be the 15-minute LinkedIn LinkedIn guy, right? Because I think if we can really learn what the rules of LinkedIn are and really to embrace it, I think it would just help people so much to fall in love with the platform and get their energy into the world in a way that's not going to overwhelm.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? You go on. So many people are telling you this and telling you that. I do this thing. All right. So if anyone's watching, I'm more than happy to come and help you. I do this little thing. It's the four mistakes that we all make on LinkedIn. All right, and I do it in about 15, 20 minutes and give 15, 10 minutes for questions and answers afterwards. So it's a 30-minute slot. In that 30-minute slot, I will blow your brains out with what I do on LinkedIn and why I do it, but also totally smash your thoughts about your profile into the bin. All right. And so I did this thing for this networking group a few weeks ago, and I turn around and someone in the chat, it was an open Zoom like this. Someone in the chat put in, one of my first questions is, why aren't we using LinkedIn? And someone put, don't know how to use it. So there's always somebody, isn't there, that's been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and they know everything. So they stood up and said, this is how you use LinkedIn. And it was, proper, follow this algorithm, da, 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 da. And I thought, oh, great, this is going to be a really great, fun session. Most of the times in my sessions, people are sort of like, wow, but this one person was like, no. So I let them speak. And then I turned around and said, well, actually, da, 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 and pointed out why. And then I went through and did all the things that you get wrong on your profile. All right. And then at the end, any questions? And this person challenged me on every single aspect, all of those four things, really challenged me and was quite, I can't think of the word, but not rude, but like, what do you know? I've had training from the best LinkedIn people ever, and they've told me this, and I've had training from a marketing expert, and they've told me this, and I'm like, right, okay, fine, but this is why, and this is why. I got a connection request the next day, and this person had changed everything that I said was wrong with their profile in the style of what I said. So they'd obviously gone back, watched the recording, or just sat and thought about what I said. It makes so much sense.
Ashley, you've just really what I was thinking when you was talking was because they're in your energy because they don't know or they're curious something's not working for them and they're not wanting to admit themselves. And then when people challenge you, you could get really pissed off in that energy and take it personal. Someone has come into your energy because they do care about what you say. You take that challenge, you answer it. Also, I think, and I get used to get this as a wealth manager, right? People come to me to learn about investing. And I'm like, if I don't know something, listen, let's just have that conversation. Challenge me on everything because I don't know everything. And you've gone through it and you like that's such a beautiful energy to be in, to allow someone to speak and challenge you. And then they've gone away. Because I hear this a lot, right? Especially in what I do, where people want to change, they want to create shifts, they want wealth, or they want a life by the sea and they expect you to fix them. And it's like you have to allow people to come into your space, and a lot of people will follow you or kind of want to be in your energy because they want the shift, but they're really, really in denial. They're in avoidance. They're in that avoidant energy. And just by you sprinkling that magic, it might take them 24 hours to go away and go, oh my God, gosh, Ashley is absolutely right. This is why I connected with him. I didn't know why. And allowing them to just be in your energy, you might have learned something from them as well. They might be like, I think it's always a two-way thing, but fundamentally they've gone and changed that in 24 hours, right? And that you have then seen the impact of allowing someone to be quite publicly rude, maybe, or challenging you in your space because then that gives you the authority and the ability to, without naming and shaming, because I don't believe in that, but to bring that back and go, do you know this happened? And that is a really great lesson for you, but for everyone else as well. So I love that. And like
No,
I cannot say things in one simple sentence. It's just not who I am.
but that's why I love doing these things because there's always questions at the end,
Yeah.
and someone's always got something that's a little bit different or like they're challenging and stuff like that. And I went to one event and I go, so can we all, so people turn around and go, oh, I've never got the time for LinkedIn. I said, well, can you all, hands up, you can find 15 minutes. And everybody puts a hand up. And this one person went, all right, so how long can you find? 5 minutes? 30 seconds. Right, okay. And so anyway, that person is now working with me and absolutely loves LinkedIn.
Exactly,
So
exactly. That
it's
transformation.
just embracing it. And I was at another event and someone turns around, so what makes you an expert then? I'm like, oh my goodness, they found me out. They found me out. Like, hang on a minute. Da 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 da. Oh yeah, fair enough.
If someone was to challenge me on the spot as to say what would make me an expert in wealth, I get paralysis because I'm like, I get imposter syndrome all the time, if that's what you want to call it, because I don't always think straight away, what am I expert at? It's only when I start to tap into and I start coaching that when I start talking to people and then I come back and I reflect, I realize all the knowledge that I have. And I love the fact that I realize all the knowledge that I don't have. And that's what I love about coaching. I learn just as much from my
Absolutely.
clients.
We should be paying our clients, shouldn't we?
100%. And that's what I love about my show. And you're like, because I feel like every person that comes into my energy and my space, I'm going into their energy and their space. And I just feel like it's like a new connection, a new fountain of knowledge that's coming into my world that I get to share, but I also get to co-create and benefit from, which is why people really need to take this serious. Honestly, if you must send me your link for your 30 minutes so that people can connect with you and they can come into your world because just by understanding how powerful your profile can be. I've just recently changed my profile. I've got to admit, Ashley, I'm working with a beautiful energy called Elena, and we've been doing some marketing strategy, but I use ChatGPT to go and say, hey, ChatGPT, what should I be saying? And I've been really looking at the way that I put my energy out into the world because I know that I'm pivoting at the moment, and it's going to take time for that to embed in to my new way of being, the way that I want to impact the world. And that's what we don't give ourselves, because you've just said, do you even have 5 minutes? You have to, if you want to make a shift, if you want to get your message into the world, you have to be on the right platform. And I've always said LinkedIn is where my people are on. They are on LinkedIn, right? I want to work with athletic men that want to, entrepreneurs that want to really come out into the world with their energy. It's just who I align with. They're on LinkedIn, 100%. And Elena was like saying to me, well, where else might they be? And I'm like, I really don't care, because I'm not going to
Yeah,
hang
yeah,
out with
yeah.
them in the gym, right? I'm not going, can you imagine me in like a guy's gym? No. Right. I'm on LinkedIn. So I'm doing a new Lunch and Learn series. So I'm diving deeper into LinkedIn to really leverage in an organic way. And so I'm super curious. So I would love to join some of your stuff, because I just think I will never be done learning. That's for sure. But one thing that was coming up for me as well when you were talking about that 5 minutes, it's like investing. People come to me because they want wealth, but then they can't find £5 to put into an investment ISA. And it's like going back and looking at where you are spending your time, energy, and money. And it's all the same, because you realize you're leaking money and time and energy here for this thing that is not in alignment with what you want anymore, but you're so conditioned to do it. So when you do that, you go, oh, I did this with a client recently. I just found £1,000. What the absolute bleep, bleep, bleep. Not only did you find £1,000, but you found 5 hours a week. So if you don't think that you've got 5 minutes or even 30 seconds for LinkedIn, what else are you leaking?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had a meeting with somebody yesterday, just a follow up from, they've been on my workshop. And so just a follow up, and I had a few questions, and they'd written them all down. And the very last question was, how have you managed to get your phone use down to 45 minutes a day? Wasn't anything to do with LinkedIn. I posted somewhere on LinkedIn that I don't use my phone, and I've cut it down to 45 minutes a day on average. And they turned around to me and said, I managed to get it from 4 hours to 2 hours, but how do you get it down to 45 minutes? And it's just prioritizing what's important. Like you said, the £1,000 is a Starbucks every day important. Is Netflix, is a subscription to Netflix and Prime and Disney and Paramount, blah, 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 is that a priority? Yeah. And what we've got to think about is, where do we want to be?
Yeah.
Every single day, I do sit-ups and press-ups in my shed to start the morning off. And I'm lying there on the floor doing my sit-ups and my press-ups, and I'm thinking, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. But I've got a grandson. And when he says, come and chase me, or see if you can catch me, or I'll race you to the hut on the seafront, I go, yeah, let's do that. I took him for a walk yesterday with my other daughter's dogs. I've got a grand dog and a grandson. And so I took him over the park to throw the ball and what have you. And he's off. But I could catch up with him. You see all these movies where the granddad is sort of like stopped having a heart attack because he can't keep up with his grandson. I'm racing him, and when it's difficult, why are we doing the difficult? I'm going to go without Starbucks for a week, but in 3 years' time, I'm going to be able to pay off my mortgage or whatever it is your goals are. Yeah, I want to be known as this person on LinkedIn, so therefore I need to go in 15 minutes every day. And you've just got to forward think.
Oh, and it takes me right back to what you said about being a Radio 1 DJ, right? I love Radio 1. I love Greg James. I listen to Radio 1 even now, in my 40s. And I just love the energy. And I don't believe that I was ever empowered to think that I could be a YouTuber or a podcaster because, I can't be a dancer because I was always given the blue ribbon, right? And I've realized as I've stepped into my power, especially over the last like 2 years, that we can be, do, and have whatever we want to be, do, and have. We're in a world now where we think that this is a really, really difficult time. Go back in time to when we were growing up, right? Back in the day, I grew up in the 80s where we didn't have phones, we didn't have connections. In a way, my little Bradford bubble didn't give me any of the limiting beliefs that I couldn't be a trader. I didn't realize you had to get onto the trading floor and you needed to have, scholarships or rich parents or even money. I was quite in my bubble and naive, probably in a positive way. But equally, where would I have gone if I'd have felt empowered to go? I was recording Radio One on in my bedroom. I used to sing to Madonna, and I didn't think that I could be the person that I am being today. And so fast forwards on my journey, it's really all these kind of similarities are, I think people are waking up to the fact that we really need to embody who we want to be first
Yeah.
and foremost in that energy, because we do have a really incredible opportunity where we can be the radio on DJ. We can be interviewing people. We don't have to have gone to training school to be an actress or an actor. We have this platform now, whether we use LinkedIn, whether we use YouTube or podcasting. And I, can't wait to see how I can leverage more of this for myself, right? Because we have all of these gifts and we don't need to go back in time or to any other place. We can do this now in this beautiful planet and also live by the sea, see our children every day, and then only be online for 45 minutes or on our phones for 45 minutes, even though your body will be screaming at you going, oh my goodness, if you're not using me, your phone will be like going beep beep beep, hello, pick me up. And that's the automatic conditioning as well, that we're breaking out of these molds. The person that said they've gone from 4 to 2 probably is because their mind is telling them, if you don't come and use me and just look at Instagram, you are missing out. Or
Mm.
maybe you're lonely because suddenly you don't have your companion, which often we attach our meaning of purpose, that we think if we think we're busy, we are therefore being really productive. But actually, the more space that we create and we only do things for 45 minutes, that 45 minutes is going to be becoming so powerful. And then you can do some of the things that are harder, like doing your press ups in your garage, that is difficult but makes you have that strength to go and then do something really amazing in nature. And it's that being in nature that takes us back to our human beingness, and it gives us that ability to have energy, because energy is everything. And you certainly bring energy in buckets. You're like a ray of sunshine. Tell me more about that. Go deeper, because you've obviously said what wealth is to you. How do you help your clients to connect with that if they don't have that inner sunshine? How do you sprinkle that magic when people work with you?
That's a good question. I think it's just that you can't help but smile when you work with me. When you surround yourself with good people, you feel good yourself. We all know that person that's half glass empty, and everything is and everything's bad. Even if it's the good thing, it's still a bad thing, and you're like, oh, come on. And so I'm a big believer in gratitude. I don't, if you heard of Mo Gaudat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love what he does. I love what he talks about. I've listened to all of his podcasts, and there's always someone else a little bit worse off than us. And I think what we tend to do in life is we look up the mountain to see, who's ahead of us and how well they're doing, and we never stop and look back and think, my goodness, look how far I've come. And there's always someone down below us trying to get up the mountain as well. And they're looking up at us and going, oh my goodness, I wish I could be like them. All right. And if we just stop for 2 minutes and think about all the wonderful things that we've got, we are so much better off than everybody else. If you're listening to this podcast, you've obviously got internet access and a smartphone. So you're better off than God knows how many percent of people in the world, and if you've got the time to sit and just watch this, then it's just crazy. So yeah, I prescribe Mo Gaudat. And so when people work with me, they get some of my energy. I can't bottle it. If I could, I'd be a multi-billionaire. But it just rubs off. I did a workshop once, and this woman came on and she messaged me that like 10 minutes, 5 minutes after, oh no, it was in the afternoon after the morning session. And it was just a 15-minute session. Oh my goodness, I have got so much done today. I can't believe it. And I think that's what it is. I'm not special. I don't have many qualifications. I don't have a university degree. I was rubbish at English, but I've written a book and all these little things. It's sort of like, if I can do it, then you can do it. People go, yeah, I can. And they just go and do it. And I think that is the magic. It's just leading by example. There's nothing amazing about what I do. And because I just do it, people say, well, yeah, what's the best that can happen? Because that's the other thing I say. Most people say, what's the worst that can happen? I say, what's the best that can happen?
I love that, but I think that you don't realize here you are bottling your energy up because you are sharing your energy with everything that you do because energy is everything. And I've had an experience over last week where I think someone's come into my world and the energy has been glass half full a little bit. And I'm like, ooh, everything's bad in the ooh. And I'm like, and I'm not someone to avoid the bad stuff, but I don't focus my energy on it. I don't listen to the news nowhere near
No,
as I used to, really, because whilst, yes, there's things going on in the world that are terrible, and it's not like I'm burying my head in the sand in any way. I'm just extremely protective of my energy. And I have a really big belief that often what's put into the news is designed to make us feel like shit half the time. So they don't share the things that's the positive things that are happening in the world. Because for every negative news, there are billions and billions and billions and billions of positive things that are happening. And that's where the gratitude comes in.
yeah.
Someone really beautiful in my life said to me just this morning, said, if your foot is in the past and your other foot's in the future, you're pissing all over the present moment. And I was like, I love that. I I love it. I love it. So that's why we have to surround ourselves with the people that are going to be the sunshine. Because I want a weekly group as part of my Star Wealth training academy. Like when I'm training the kind of the money stuff, the wealth stuff, it's going to be hard. And so just coming every week, just to even be in my energy and everyone else's energy, and even me to be in that those people's energy, it's just so important because we're absorbing the energy and then we can go into the world and we will do the things that are difficult. And I always say, and this is something that's really comes up a lot, do the thing that's difficult first thing in the morning.
Yeah, eat that frog.
Yes, I love that. Eat that frog, do the hard thing, even if that is your 15 minutes of LinkedIn, whatever it is that feels hard, because eventually that LinkedIn doesn't it becomes something that isn't hard anymore.
Yeah.
Start to love the things. Maybe one day you'll love your press ups and your sit ups. I started running. I started running every week, probably about 3 years ago, in order to get me out of the rut that I was in. I talked about going through divorce. I've gone through divorce. I'm going through divorce. And at the time, I didn't really know why I was doing it. I started running and it started off as a chore. And now I am in love with running. I can't exist without finding time for a run. I used to want to run every day. I've realized that's not great for my knees and my body because we have to be in balance and be kind of have I'm studying massage and my anatomy and physiology. We need to have rest days and things. So I've kind of had to scale it back because I love it. I'm like, I wake up and I'm like, today I should do yoga because it's easier for my body, but I want to go running. But I'm like, no. Um, and that's like people tell me I'm not a runner. So how do you find the energy? If you'd have asked me 3 years ago, I would have gone, I'm not a runner. We can be whatever we want to be because it's a mind thing, your mind will tell you that you aren't in love with LinkedIn, that LinkedIn is this really scary thing. And if you put your videos out there, everyone in the world is going to crucify you because maybe someone has shared that negative experience. You know, I've not had a negative experience with LinkedIn. I don't know if I'm just really blessed or maybe it's just my energy isn't like
It's your
that.
mind. It's your mindset. It's your mindset. I don't know if you remember when you were learning to drive. The driving instructor says, "Look at the road in front of you, not at the car coming towards you." and
Yeah.
that and that's the thing, isn't it? So you're just looking at amazing as to what LinkedIn can do rather than the negative things. So therefore, you're not bringing the negative things to you.
And maybe because I came from I've been using LinkedIn for years, actually. Years and years and years. I was one of the first to go on it and I've all my connections. I don't have like you. I think you've got 15,000 connections.
It's not quite that many, but yeah, I've got a lot.
You've got
I've
a
got
lot
a
of
lot.
connections.
Yeah.
I've got about 4,000 connections and it's just organic.
Yeah, and that's the best way. That is the best way because
Deal.
I'm pushing my YouTube channel this week. Okay, so I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So that's what I'm doing this week. And I did a post yesterday all about it. How many cold DMs do you think I got from YouTube experts?
Oh, I know. I get it all the time. They
Oh, leave me
email
alone. I
me.
want to I want to do it organically. Because
Mm,
if you do anything organically, it grows an awful lot better.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I wait for people to connect to me on LinkedIn
Yeah.
because they want to connect with me.
Yeah.
If I go out to connect with somebody else and they don't really want to connect with me, but they do, they're not interested. Whereas if they connect with me, when I create a post, they go, I like that. And they might comment on it. But
Yeah.
if I've connected with them and they're not interested, they're not going to see it. What's the point? And so many people use LinkedIn as vanity
Yeah.
metrics to try and get as many followers as possible. And it ain't about that. It's about the engaged followers.
Yeah.
So
Like, and that's it. And then I feel like my inbox is like mates hanging out, and then I'll be like,
yeah,
got this event coming up. Do you want to come to it? Or, like the person that I was talking about that's like lives down the road. I was like, when I launched my massage business, I was like, great, I'm gonna come for a massage. I'm like, fantastic. There you grow in your organic businesses in a real way because we think launching businesses has to be really complicated. It really doesn't. It has to be super simple. Funny thing.
like I said, if it was complicated, I wouldn't have done it. And here I am, nearly 4 years in. So yeah, it's not complicated. It's
It's
it's dead
not.
easy.
You've just said something that really resonated with me actually, because my YouTube is in its infancy. It's teeny tiny, and I get contacted by SEO people from all over the world telling me how shit my show is, and I'm like, good. I don't care. Just stop sending emails into my inbox because I hate emails and I hate any admin. But literally, and probably the more energy I put out there, that's going to happen more now because I've said it and the universe will make it so. So, stop moaning about it. I'm very grateful for the SEO people contacting me. But Instagram was like that for me. And I used to delegate my Instagram account. And now I've just fallen a little bit in love with Instagram as well because I see it for what it is. And a lot of my immediate connections in North Devon, a lot of the people that I love and admire, like some of the athletes that are in the local area that I would have never dreamed that would follow me, some of the surfers, some of the guys that I just have been kind of watching on the periphery. Since I started putting my own energy into Instagram, I've busted through 1,000 followers and it's taken me a long time. But I was stuck for a long time because I was delegating and I was doing what everyone else told me I should be doing with all these weird posts and reels. I just started sharing things that I care about. And I do now
You
have
started
to.
being Emma.
Mm.
That's what you started being, and that is what I do with people. I get them to be themselves because they just think they've got to come on these platforms and be these polished superstars, and we resonate with real people.
Yeah.
Some of my talks I ask questions, and one of the questions I asked was, hands up who likes to see proper edited videos, decent camera work, or who prefers the guy or girl walking down the street with a wobbly camera. Yeah? The
Yeah.
guy or girl with a straight walking down the street with a wobbly camera is you and me. The guy with the proper polished video, we can't get to that because we don't know Steven Spielberg.
Oh, 100%. And in a way, actually, that's why I did come off podcasting because I was like, I'm not trying to be Stephen Bartlett. I'm trying to be Emma and I want to do it my way. I am curious about how I might end up putting things back there because my curiosity is the curiosity in me. I cannot help but fundamentally, we have to find the way that we can energetically get our authentic energy into the world. And, I think that actually you see different people's energy and you can help people to kind of shape that into their own LinkedIn strategy, right? Whether that's LinkedIn, whether it's Instagram, whether it's YouTube as well. I think it's just knowing the platforms are there and tapping into to kind of how we can work with these platforms in a way that's going to serve us. I love what you just said about you. I started to be me. That is so true because only 2 years ago I really wasn't me at all. At
There
all.
you go. There you go.
So,
Well
oh,
done, you.
yeah, well, do you know it? And this is what's led Jamie to finding me, to bring me into Biz Fest, and then it's led me to coming into finding you and, connecting with you. What would you say if you could, could leave one lasting, wealthy piece of advice for people that are following you that will want to kind of come into your world and take that 30 minutes of magic, whether that's in your workshop or just having a chat with you? What would you say if someone is feeling really stuck, that they don't have the time to even find 30 seconds? What can be that kind of little bit of a nugget of transformation that they can take from you today?
Oh, that's a difficult question because there's so many different things. So the first thing is find me on LinkedIn, Google the 15-minute guy, and book 10 minutes with me. Okay, I'm more than happy to have a free chat for 10 minutes, and I will blow your mind in those 10 minutes about how amazing LinkedIn is. Okay, find my YouTube channel. There's loads of helpful videos there, and they're all for free.
Yeah.
And it's just the case of letting people know who you are, because if you're not telling people who you are, how are they going to know who you are? And you don't need to worry about the algorithm. You don't need to worry about whether it's professional or not. You don't need to worry about trolls. LinkedIn is a really, really safe platform. Everyone's friendly. And just give it a go. What's the best that can happen?
So book a 10-minute call with you.
Yeah.
Go and watch your YouTube channel. But what if, and this is one of the things that I help people to find purpose. What if people don't know who they are? Maybe that can be a lot of the challenge, right? We've gone through a big shift and we just don't know who the flip we are anymore.
Well, I help with all of that because my one-to-one program is a 6-week program, and we kick off with a whole hour. So we'll find all of that out. And people that have been through my program turn around and go, it's not that I don't teach the technicalities of LinkedIn. I just give you the confidence to be you.
Yeah,
I give you permission to be yourself.
love that. I love that. And that's why people follow me as the Wealth Rebel, because I'm giving them the permission to go, I'm going to be 100% rebellious and start being me. And that's why I knew you had to come on because you're so aligned in that energy. It's so important that more people have that permission to be themselves and to collaborate and share that magic in an open way so that more people can find Ashley, more people can find Em. And I can't wait to meet you in person. I can't wait to see you. You're going to be at Biz Fest Southwest, right?
Most definitely.
Yeah. Are you
Look,
are you going
there's
to do
two, there's
any of
two,
these
there's two
workshops?
speakers. There's two speakers here today. So yeah, I'm speaking. I'm also going to have a stand. So if this goes out before the show, make sure you come and find me, and I'll give you an overview of your profile. So yeah,
Exactly. Well, I think it's going out afterwards, but fundamentally, I can't wait to see you there in person. I'm going to be at your stand. I'm going to come and see what you are talking about on the day. Hopefully, I'm going to have some support on my
well,
stand.
you've also promised me a massage.
Well, I'm bringing my couch.
Yeah, there you go. There you
I'm
go.
bringing my couch, my massage couch, and the idea will be that there'll be an opportunity for some maybe for some massages. So 100%. And this is the thing. This is the thing when you get online with what you came here to do. You just don't know what's going to come out of these conversations. We think it's LinkedIn, we think it's being able to get visible. And in the end, it's like, holy moly, actually, I need to do something completely left wheeled, and that's okay. Left wheeled, left field, and that's okay. And that's why it's so magical when we spend time working with someone in someone's program, or even having that 10 minutes that's going to blow your mind. I highly recommend anyone that's listening to this show to connect with Ashley. What an energy. Thank you so much for coming and spreading your magic today on the show. What is your YouTube channel called? What is your YouTube?
Ashley Leeds.
Ashley Leeds.
Yeah, there you go.
Keep it simple. Don't do what I did and call yourself the Wealth Rebel. Okay, my love. Thank you for having the time to come and see everyone today. And yeah, I can't wait to see what the beautiful universe has for us moving forwards.
You take care. Thanks ever so much for having me on your show today. It's been absolutely a pleasure. Thank you.
You are more than welcome.